Hey guys, Jason here with the third episode of our Races of Duel Masters series. In today's episode, I'll be completing the coverage of all the races introduced in the beginner's block, that is, sets 1 to 5. I'll start with the nature races from set 1, before moving on to the races that made their debuts in sets 3 and 5. And with that out of the way, let's get this party started. Balloon mushrooms are fungus creatures that grow on the dark forest floor. They live off other plants and absorb their nutrients for strength. As they grow, their skin sacs fill with a poisonous gas which enables them to hover just above the ground. When the gas is expelled and gravity pulls them down to the surface, balloon mushrooms spread their toxic spores to reproduce. Despite their toxic nature, balloon mushrooms are actually collected by Beastfolk for food, gas, and energy. Beastfolk are the most prominent race in the nature civilization. Strong and brave, they often excel in the use of close combat weapons, such as axes, clubs, and swords, depending on their specialized fighting style. They are the nature world's most powerful warriors, and some even rival the strength of the fire civilization's armored dragons. A Beastfolk's appearance is determined by its ancestry, and those with common genealogy or similar physical traits tend to maintain friendly relations with each other. Beastfolk are also a spiritual race. They are known to tattoo their bodies with special symbols that pay tribute to their ancestors, and are also known to build staircases in the trees in the hopes of one day reaching the paradise they believe exists above. Colony beetles are large immobile beetles with hard chitinous shells. They begin their lives as larvae in bullet-shaped eggs inside the adult beetle. When fully matured, the adult colony beetle explodes like a volcano, sending eggs everywhere and devastating the surroundings. Except for those that find themselves embedded into nearby host trees, most eggs do not survive the blast. The surviving larvae use their strong jaws and sharp fangs to devour the host trees from the inside. By the time the host dies, the larvae will have matured to the size of the tree, and its trademark chitinous shell will have developed. While providing protection, the shell makes them practically immobile. Because of their lack of mobility, colony beetles have evolved to be hermaphroditic, and therefore do not breed with others of their kind. Instead, they produce a honeycomb-like colony inside their bodies. Each cell of the colony holds an egg that the beetle fertilizes itself. When the colony beetle reaches full maturity, it erupts with volcanic intensity, and the process begins again. Giant insects are fierce meat-eating creatures that sit at the top of the nature civilization's food chain. They vary in size, usually standing between 3 to 10 feet tall, depending on the species, and can at times appear deformed. Their subspecies include dragonflies, grasshoppers, praying mantis, beetles, and butterflies. Horned beasts are herbivorous animals found throughout the nature civilization. They are mild-tempered herd animals, and as their name suggests, possess large horns. Horned beasts have evolved into stocky creatures with a low center of gravity, but they are surprisingly agile and use their speed to escape predators. They can be particularly dangerous when herds are spooked, as this can easily lead into a deadly stampede. Treefolk are a quiet yet powerful race within the nature civilization. They are highly intelligent and enjoy a long life, growing in wisdom with each passing year. In majority of cases, they are totally immobile. However, they need not move, as they have the power to control the minds of others and communicate empathically by filling the air with their emotions. Under their influence, many animals have happily starved to death, never realizing their pending fate as nourishment for the trees around them. Alright, so now that we've finally finished going over the races introduced in Set 1, we can now go over the rest of the beginner's block. Set 3 introduced one new race for each civilization, which is pretty neat, And Set 5, as the name suggests, marked the debut of the infamous survivors. Mecha Thunders are a part human, part alloy race. They hide in the clouds, surrounding themselves with lightning and thunder, and create what appear to be natural disasters by controlling the weather. Although their aim is often inaccurate, they are still able to attack with fierce typhoons, powerful tornadoes, and blasts of lightning. Cyberclusters are a weapons race within the water civilization that the liquid people use as walking forts. Cyberclusters often resemble robot forms of shellfish, such as crabs, shrimp, and hermit crabs. Whenever a cybercluster is attacked, it emits bright sparks and supersonic or electromagnetic waves, which disrupt the enemy attacks and warn the liquid people that danger is near. Hedrians are cold-hearted souls born from the sludge and ooze found in the polluted land of darkness. They inhabit the contaminated underground waterways and have the ability to alter the shape of their bodies to move freely with the currents. As they navigate their surroundings, they pick up garbage and waste, which is weaponized into poisonous mists and liquids to be used against their enemies. Firebirds are cute small birds that make their nests around the mouths of volcanoes. They famously coexist with dragons and are easily identified by the fire at the tip of their tails. Unlike other fire creatures, they are not an aggressive race and are instead curious and likable. However, if their nest is attacked, they will fight back and risk their lives to defend it. Unsurprisingly, Firebirds have a short life expectancy. When they sense the end is near, they dive into the mouth of a volcano, and it is said that 1 out of 1,000 Firebirds is reborn after the dive. Giants are one of the nature civilization's most powerful races. Their physical traits include 3 eyes, enormous muscles, horns on their shoulders, and a human-like posture. Their tough skin acts as a suit of armor, protecting them during enemy attacks. And their immense upper and lower body strength allow them to withstand the dense gravity. For the most part, giants are simple-minded and gentle. However, when a giant is disturbed, all 3 eyes will open wide, and it can become extremely ferocious. Survivors are a unique race of creatures which emerged from the planet's core with the intention of conquering the surface world. Due to the harsh conditions inside the core, they learned to cooperate with each other regardless of civilization. Despite their teamwork, the survivors were unsuccessful in their conquest and were seemingly wiped out by the surface-dwelling civilizations. However, unbeknownst to the victors of the conflict, there remained survivors laying dormant in the planet's core, waiting to be awakened once again. On that note, we have now concluded my coverage of the races introduced in the beginner's block. As usual, let me know in the comments what your favorite race was from this episode. We still have a few more episodes to go, and in the next episode, I'll begin my coverage of the races introduced in Set 6. But until then, thanks for watching, stay safe, and we'll see you guys next time.